got an exclusive little wolf going on there. So that's good news. There's good news and bad news this week. There's been some tragic news as well with Norway, etc. And our hearts at SlagPits go out to anyone affected by that. But we shall dwell on the news no longer. We shall move on to topic number 1, which is the StarCraft race divide. Why are we so passionate about its race? Why does it cause the imbalance argument? And what about the random players? So, who would like to come in on this topic first? I open the floor to my guests.
You should pick on us. I think that will work. Yeah.
Racial issues. Well, I don't know. It's kind of. I personally don't think that there really are any balance issues. Like everyone's always like crying, like, oh, this race is imba, that race is imba. Like my friend, he plays Terran. He complains about Zerg being imba because of investors. I don't know why. I mean, he just says that, oh, they're so imbalanced. I'm like, what's wrong with that? You just use ghosts to counter them. And he's like, yeah, but then they could just like fungal growth you, blah blah. You know, I don't know. I personally don't really see an issue in balance.
Agreed. It is weird how when I got in it first, most of the imbalance crying came from the Zerg because I was Zerg, so everything looked imbalanced to me as well. It's like, oh, if you Zergs are saying it, I'm going to say it too. You must be right. But no, it seems that everybody has imbalance crying about somebody else, and Protoss go, oh, you're overpowered, and then Terran goes, oh, you're overpowered, and then the Zerg go, you're overpowered, and apparently there's so much imbalance, I think nobody knows where the imbalance is, if any. So
I mean, I think like in the beginning stages of like when people were just getting into like watching streams and stuff, like before I could see that I did feel personally that Zerg was imbalanced a little bit, like towards the other races, or not imbalanced, but like weaker or underpowered. But as I watched more games and I saw some of like extraordinary players play, and I'm like, okay, maybe it's not as imbalanced, just how you play the race. Like people always say in the beginning, like the only person like I really knew about was like Idra. Like, and when he played, like, against, for example, Protoss, I felt like, oh man, Zerg was imbalanced. But then I see people like, Nesty and like Sen them play, and I'm like, wow, okay, so it's not imbalanced. It's just they found ways to like. I thought force fields were pretty imbalanced, and so you could do the Overlord dropping of the Banelings, and I'm like, okay, so that's one way to circumvent the force field, and it's just your unit control and how you and positioning and how you manage your forces. It's a lot, but if you can do it well, like these pro gamers do, then you shouldn't have any problems. I mean, besides, once Heart of the Swarm comes out, I'm sure Zerg will be probably overpowered at the O3 race. But that's a completely different topic.
It is, yes. What race do we all play out of, just for the viewers, what race do each of us play?
Play Protoss. Yeah.
Protoss scary too.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, no, I just have a story about my Protoss race playing. So, I played Brood War, I used to be Zerg. I switched to Protoss because I couldn't really do larva management, and that's even tougher in SE2, so I stuck with Protoss. And then, when I went to NASL and watched Sen versus MC, I was rooting so hardcore for Sen that I was like, I was so angry when DTs won MC the last game. I don't want to spoil, I guess it's been long enough.
It's enough to make you change races.
Yes. Oh my god, DTs, what? And then the Void Rays in set 6, not set 6, whatever set that was. I was so angry that I tweeted right then, I'm quitting Protoss. Except I didn't, so
it's okay.
Honor.
My suggestion is play random, like what I do, so you can learn all 3 races.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this, I like Protoss and Zerg over Terran. I don't know why. I just do.
No, I finished.
don't like how you have to take so many SCVs off the middle line just to build supply depot. That irks me for some reason. And every time I have to do the panic supply depot thing, like, it also irks me that I can't build them, like, you know, next to each. I'm like, my mouse is like so like spazzy that they're all like ugly and like not, you know, symmetrical, that it just bothers me.
I have recently switched to Terran from Zerg.
Yay! No, you. Oh,
I'm a Terran now. Yeah,
betrayer.
I enjoy playing it actually. Although I'm struggling. I'm really struggling.
Terran is really cool because it's a very dynamic race, because you could go bio, you could go biomech, you could go pure mech like Goody does. You know, it's really I think it's the most dynamic race. Terran is the first dynamic race. Zerg would probably be second, and Protoss is the most rigid race because there's not really much you could do with them. It's, you know, just a huge death ball and that's it. And you just I don't know. My friends keep telling me like, oh, Zerg is the easiest race because all you have to do is make a huge army and then A-move everywhere, which is kind of true. But then you're forgetting about like Infestor Micro, Baneling dropping Micro, you know, whatever. Anyways, I'm going off tangent here.
So, we've discussed the imbalance issue. Where, like, let's take our two Protosses, for example. Would you say you were very passionate about your race, like some people can be? And why do we think that is? Maybe.
I actually hate my race, but I'm too lazy to switch, so...
I'm personally ashamed when I tell people I play Protoss. I feel like...
Wait, then why are you guys
sorry.
playing that race? That doesn't make sense to me.
So easy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Protoss is easy.
So yeah, whenever someone asks me what race I play, I kind of like have an apologetic sort of face, and I'm like, yeah, Protoss.
Well, like I was saying, you know, if you're like, I have friends who play ones, but like they like don't like their race. I'm like, why don't you switch? They're like, oh, I don't want my ladder rankings to go. I'm like, then how about this? Play custom games or play team games and just play random, which is what I do. If you look at my freaking history, it'll just be a bunch of like 4s, you know, all the random games. No, but like seriously, like, it's a good way to learn because, you know, I mean, you want to learn a different race, but you don't want to screw with your ladder rankings in 1v1, which I guess is what everyone's worried about. I don't think anyone should really care unless you're Masters League, because anything below that, you're pretty much bad at the game.
That's true.
In certain circles, yes, that is how it's seen. It is weird. Whether I do feel slightly weird when people ask, what race are you? And when it was like, hail Zerg! But now it's like, I'm Terran. And then and it's weird as the Zerg are very swarmy together like that, and then it is weird that the pride that they've got, the Zerg pride does exist.
The Zerg
you know,
pride, huh?
Yeah, I used to hail on everything that I just said, and what he said was gospel. And then and then you look at it, it's like, no, he's just, it's just.
That's just him. Yeah, that's just him. That's just his little diatribe against everyone. I mean, you could say the same about if you were Terran and like my friend, like he could be like him and be like, oh, you know, Zerg isn't balanced because of this unit or whatever. But I don't know. I think Blizzard's doing a pretty decent job of balancing it so far. There's just a few things I have, but I'll save that discussion for when we get to the next topics.
Yes. There's when you look at it, there's such a passion in certain races, but when you play random, like Johnny does, then you have an overview of everything, and you can see that perhaps the game is indeed balanced, and maybe it is certain people raging, but when you're upset and you're in the moment, it's like, say me, I hate Colossus. I can't explain why. I don't like the fact that they can crawl up cliffs I don't know. That's
Yes.
just me.
that is slightly imba.
No.
Oh wait, they can be attacked by air and ground? Oh wait, never
This
mind.
is advanced.
Yeah.
Vikings, anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Viking
that's-
corruptors, even infestors, just neural parasite, and oh shoot, Colossi attacking my own units? What the hell's going on here?
It is weird when somebody told me, yeah, corruptors can hit Colossus. It's like, and I said, why they're a ground unit, aren't they? It's like, and
Well,
then
they're so
people
tall.
just go, yeah, that's it, you know. I actually felt sorry for the Protoss that day, so
Good one.
I feel sorry that your Colossus can be hit by those nasty air units.
I accept your apology. No, seriously, I don't think it's so much an issue of balance as it is what makes the game boring or fun to watch. Because if you look at Brood War, I'd hate to like go into nostalgic mode, but units there do crazy things. Like Defilers make it so that no range units can attack you. It's like a billion times worse than fungal growth, in my opinion. But it's just that so many different imbalanced things in Brood War, they were just so fun to watch, like Vulture Mines. They don't cost money, you get 3 of them free from a 75 mineral unit, and they're super fast, and they are basically tiny nukes. But they were so fun to watch, and like, I don't know, it had a totally different dynamic. So when there's imbalanced units in SC2, like the Colossus, I feel like the Colossus is the most boring unit in the world. It just, shoots in a straight line. Nothing to do to like micro them except move them back and forth. So yeah.
I think that nostalgic moment is a good way to lead us into Johnny's topic, which is kind of part of topic 1. It's kind of a good extension of topic 1, and I'm going to let Johnny explain to you what that topic is.
Okay, well, I mean, I feel like after playing like StarCraft 2 for the past year, I feel like it was less. I feel like all the races have like. I mean, I know Blizzard's still balancing and everything, but I feel like that it's not complete. You know, like I feel like there's certain units that in multiplayer it's not feasible for people to use. Like for example, for Zerg, I feel like Ultralisks are very underused. I feel like and I feel like Zerg needs more spellcaster type units, which I hope in the Heart of the Swarm they'll bring back, like more like what you were just telling us about the Defiler. I wish they had the Defiler because what kind of caster units does Zerg have versus the other? Like what do Terran have? They have the Raven, they have the Ghost, right? So they have like two very like the Raven and the Ghost. They're very very dynamic. They can be used in so many different ways. I mean the Infestor can also be used in many different ways as well, but not that much, Like I mean. It's just, you could use it to hold units in place, which is cool, and you can use the mind control units. I mean, that's very versatile, but I feel like they need some kind of like, do you guys remember in Brood War 1, the Queen? It used to be able to be an air unit. It used to have this ability called Parasite, which could allow you to see whatever the unit that you parasited all around the map. So I wish I don't know why. I felt like the Zerg kind of devolved when they created the Queen. I think in Heart of the Swarm they should give the Queen an evolution that it'll evolve to a unit where it's like flying and it's a caster type unit.
Oh my gosh.
But once you evolve that Queen, it cannot inject larva anymore. It'll become a completely different unit or something. And I feel like for Protoss, I feel like there's who uses the mothership? Who uses the mothership except Kiwikok?
Over the White as well.
Like, why is there a unit like the mothership in the game when it's not going to be used in multiplayer? They should just remove that and replace it with something useful.
It's too much fun to watch.
Well, I mean, the mothership is cool, but I don't see because it's really slow. It doesn't do that much damage. And what does it do? I feel like they should have just replace the mothership with a unit called the Arbiter from StarCraft 1. Because that had much more utility. Like, it had the stasis, it had, it could, it's like the mothership where it can cloak the ground units, right? So it's, you can actually use, and it has decent